May I have a drink, by the way?
Nice. I don't have anything but tea.
Have canela.
It's hard seltzer, so nothing crazy.
That's very crazy.
Yeah.
How did we all finish?
Yes.
What do we think?
I liked it.
Mhm.
It was again really hard to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the ending is just like,
I read it so fast, like compared to other books. I think it's a genre I really like too, like the dystopian, like survival has been something I always like.
I
I like
like
how
it, but
fast
it's
paced it is.
yeah, it's kind of like gritty though. Like, gruesome.
Yes.
It was like really easy to read, but also like very just like you're just like feeling for the character. And I don't know. I feel like I mean I keep, and I'm sure the rest of you too will like keep comparing it to like Hunger Games or like other books, but like I feel like at times Katniss was not always easy to root for. But I really can feel like it's easy to root for this main character. I don't know why. I just feel like she's really like she's like admirable because she's really like doing what she can, and it's so hard in that situation to like stay strong and to have some principles and to try to be on your own and survive like that. So it's like very like I really want her to succeed, and I feel for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that character, and there's a lot more inner dialogue too in this book.
I
Yeah.
feel like the magic is still like not real.
no, I don't think so either. I think freaking Kirsten is getting in everyone's head, and they're like, oh, look, she's putting the sun down. Oh, look, your family can talk to animals. You're a, what is it, a wolf or something, a coyote? Like, no.
Yeah.
These girls
That
That was
was
a
are
hilarious
doing it.
scene.
Ugh.
I
It
feel
really
like
shows how if you're like charismatic, you can manipulate people who don't have a lot of education and who are like kind of ignorant and used to that kind of like someone telling them what to do. Like you can just like, it's all coincidences. She's just like, oh, that was that and that was that. It's all like just so easy to explain. You don't have any critical thinking skills.
She's like a
feel like
cult
Waiting
leader.
for someone to hit her.
Yeah. I also feel like they're 16 and you can like see how naive and gullible and teenagers they are. I don't know, I feel like as I'm reading this, I kind of like at the clinic there was a 16-year-old girl that was pregnant, and the way she was acting, and it's like, yes, she has a kid, and yes, she did what she did, but she's still a kid, and she didn't seem to understand. And I feel like this is what's going on with these girls that are like, they're going through this big change, but they don't quite really get it, even though they're over here like, oh yeah, the magic of this, and oh, I have the control. But no, they're just too young, and you can tell because they're believing Kirsten, and I'm like, oh my god. Ay, ay, ay.
I also have a strong suspicion that well is like drugged.
I was
Something's
thinking
in the
that
water.
too. I was thinking that too, because what's with the pupils being all big and black?
Yeah.
That something's drugged, either the food or maybe the well.
Which makes me believe, or like kind of go with the theory that someone mentioned last time, that they're like, what if it's the dad and like those two males, adults, or if it's all the kids who, instead of like the grace year, they have this little session where they go out there and kill the girls. I don't know. Like, I think somehow the men are involved deeper than just like, oh, we're just home and waiting for them to come back and get rid of their magic. I think
they're making the noises too, I think.
Yeah. And like that poacher that twice let her go. I mean, yeah, he did throw like the little knife or something, but something tells me it's Michael, and I'm like, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know why.
that'd
but
be
I know,
bad. Yeah.
or it
I
could
feel
be
like
just
she would
that,
recognize him though. Like she saw him. I don't know. I feel
right?
like I don't think it's him just because I think she would have like recognized him, but maybe she's so delirious that she doesn't even know.
That thing too. They're having all these symptoms, and I'm like, they're dehydrated. They're malnourished. They're not eating right. Obviously, the headaches and the double vision, like you're not, but they don't know they're little girls. So
Yeah, I don't know how Tierney is still alive.
Yep.
mm,
It kind of like reminds me of Wild, how it was like the survival thing, but I feel like in Wild she met these cool people along the way and had these like good experiences, and this is just like this whole thing. Like, why do they even have to do this grace year? And then the girls are just nasty to her. And then I don't know. There's like not much positive. So we'll see what happens with this, poacher who has her, if that'll turn things around.
How
Yeah, it
many
was
girls
really
are
sad
left?
to see. I think maybe like 4 or 5 girls have died. Maybe
Mhm.
like around then.
the one that was singing died, right? The little,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
The little one, yeah. Then the one who committed suicide, and then the one who got cut up. That's at least 3. I don't remember the 4th off the top of my head.
She threw her friend Tammy. Was it
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
at the
Cameron?
very end?
Mm.
Kirsten.
Mm-hmm.
And then what about Gertie? Is she still alive?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. She's just like hiding and in pain.
Missing
Oh
half
yeah, she
her
was
head.
like in the tree or something.
Mhm. I wonder if
It was
Kirsten
really
threatened Gertie, and that's why. Like, I don't think Gertie willingly went so easy to the other side. I think Kirsten must have said something like, "I'm just going to kill Tyranny if you don't come to this side." Or
Mm-hmm.
and gross old man Barlow, whatever his name is.
Oh
I
yeah.
said I like depraved or something.
Yes.
Gross.
Didn't someone call that there was like a like lesbian relationship between one of the girls, and
Mm-hmm.
they were, I don't know if they called it between Gertie and Kirsten, but they're right.
Yeah, and then the lithograph that it was very like porno.
Mhm.
Oh man, I'm glad we got that because when it appeared again, I'm like, wait, what was this again? Like I totally
Mhm.
forgot. But yeah, I feel like I think Gertie might be into girls, but then maybe it is both of them. I don't know. Gertie gives me,
Yeah, we don't know.
but I think that was Kristen, so I think she's trying to hide it.
Maybe
In my opinion.
Kristen likes girls too, and she's trying to deny it because she's scared because of like the indoctrination that she's gone through. Does anyone think the poacher is Hans as well because he threw Tierney's bag back over, even though Kirsten claimed credit for it? She found like the little rope or something that Hans left in the bag that wasn't there before.
He's been like suspiciously absent, so
Mhm.
could be. Because he made it sound like he was kind of going to be watching over her, but except for throwing her pack, he's not really been around.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it is him.
I also wonder
And
if it's
what-
like a separate county, and instead of sending girls off, they send young men off, and then this is how the counties. I don't know.
Go at it.
Like population control.
Yeah.
And like, who brought her that chunk of meat?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
that the
I thought it was in her
poacher? Like,
jacket. I thought
It
it
was
was
the
the
bear.
seeds. The seeds were in the jacket, but there was like a chunk of
meat.
raw meat or something.
Yeah.
The bear.
when those seeds that she planted like fell down, I was like, oh my God, I can't. This
I
is
felt so
so
bad.
crushing.
I feel like, I mean, it was already like winter, and she was trying to. I don't know why I get why she was trying to plant them, but I'm like, it's cold. They're gonna die. Like, you're just gonna waste it. Like, you could have saved it or eaten them. I feel like maybe that would have given her some sort of nutrient, but I just feel like that was a dumb move for her to do. She's like, oh, I'm gonna try, and she's like going at it in the ice. I'm like, girl. So I
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I was like, pobrecita.
Desperation for sure.
Yeah,
I felt bad for her too.
I know.
Okay, so what happened at the end? I was a bit confused. The other girl like went through the gate and then she followed,
Yeah.
She's chasing down Tyranny, yeah.
and then like what happened? They both got taken by poachers. Or no?
I think Tyranny somehow made it like back into the encampment. That's when she got hit with the axe, right? Like right in the shoulder. But then she ran out to try to escape, and one of the girls was running after her. And let me see, I'm skimming.
Didn't she like trip or something? Or I don't know, like somehow she became on, oh no, oh, I remember now. She went on the ice, right? She went on the ice, and then she had the axe, and the poacher was coming towards her, and she was like kind of gonna just like try to kill herself with the ice. And so she struck the ice and started going down. And then the poacher came in and saved her, and then she woke up when she was pissed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's where we left it with a good stopping point.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the other time where she ran after the girl, that was earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I was confused.
When they were like trying to tell that girl she's invisible.
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
Was that the fourth one that died?
Oh my gosh.
No, because she ran after her and I think she was able to.
You're right. So I read this on Sunday night, and I was only supposed to read like a little bit, but then I got into it. I was like all half asleep, so
Oh.
I think I might need to go back and reread.
I also
Yeah, I
feel
think
like the way it's written, because you know how you were talking about the well and like that it might be drugged and all these things, and I feel like there's moments where she's kind of, because she's not getting the right nutrients and stuff and hydration, I feel like I'm with her where I'm like falling in and out of it with her. So then I feel lost. But I mean, it's kind of, I think in that way it's good because you're putting yourself in there. At least I am. Or maybe I was tired. I don't know.
The other girls they're kind of like blocking her from the food and water, right? So I feel like she's, she was pretty much half starved when she left the encampment. I wonder if that's what's helping her be able to survive, because she isn't influenced by the water or the food if it is drugged. And that's why the other girl started turning, because of the drugs. Maybe their sense of reality is getting distorted.
Well, she said she felt more clear after a little bit too.
That's what made me think it was the well, because she's the only one drinking the rain barrels also towards the end.
And
but I agree with Judith that I kind of liked that it was getting like more desperate and off the rails a little bit at times, because I feel like that's what her headspace is, and like she's even starting to question her like really strong beliefs because she's so desperate and because like she's so powerless. Like even she's like, maybe something's wrong with me, like maybe I'm wrong, you know, like, and it puts you in that headspace the way that it's written, I feel like.
Definitely.
Do you think Kirsten like knows anything? Because she was like against the rainwater, you know. It's like, we'll drink from the well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Do you think she knows anything?
I feel like she sounds like the typical mean girl that, you know, the family's rich, and I think they would break the rules and talk about it to use it for their advantage. So I can see
like to prepare her.
Be like, oh, you're not supposed to talk about it. But yet, I feel like the mom and everyone else who's gone through it would definitely just be like, you have to do this, you have to do that. Make sure, like, it kind of reminds me of like The recent Bachelor was this one girl who thought she was all that, and she's like, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I'm like, no.
I've been watching.
Yeah? Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. But yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. That part does remind me, if it's true, it does strongly remind me of the Hunger Games, where like the people from District 1 and 2 are the ones like specially trained and they wanted to go into the games, you know, for fame and prestige. Whereas the other ones didn't have that luxury. So I'm really curious about that. That could be why Kirsten's taking such a strong role, or maybe it's like tradition, like one of those unspoken secrets that every grace year there has to be like a leader who's going to stir things up to make sure they start killing each other, kind of, right? Because what if they did all start deciding to get along, like Tyranny's trying to get them to, and that's why like on the front it goes back to like how it says survive together or die alone. Maybe Kirsten's trying to like, you know, keep them scared so, you know, they die.
It also just might be a power move because, like, I feel like a lot of mean girls will just, like, you know, make arbitrary statement, like these rules, or like, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like a means of control.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to, like, assert your dominance against the other group where you decide everything. So even, like, though it's not, like, it might not even be based on, like, a rational thing. It's just, like, her deciding things and then, like, making sure everybody follows her rules, and then, like, you know, getting rid of the weakest links. And I don't know, she seems really good at emotionally manipulating people.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty masterful how she turned everyone against Tyranny, you know, just with like a few coincidences and some, like, you know, some persuasive language. She was able to turn everyone against her. And of course everyone, I think, is like kind of malnourished and on something, so they, you know, they're not like totally in their right minds. But
yeah, I think it helped too that Tyranny kind of did her own thing in the past, you know, and I feel like before they went to the Grace Year too, Kirsten was already that kind of like ringleader type of person. It's interesting too to mention, even though I think it's been brief, like of the Bible, and I feel like they've kind of warped some of the things from the Bible, like as I know it at least, or as and like the stuff about Eve, and I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. Like how she tried to kill her family and stuff. I thought that was kind of creepy.
I didn't know that. Eve was like like all the men also just hate women in this county.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, how can we control them? We can use religion as one way.
Yeah, I think the author's trying to make a little bit of a point there, but it was very, very brief. So I wonder if it's going to come out more.
I thought it was interesting because like Gertie had those wounds on her knuckles, and how Tyranny had the inner dialogue, how that her mom knew she had dreams, but she never like punished her for it. So I think mom's not as bad as we thought. She was just trying to protect her. She knew what was going to happen because that's just how it was in their life. And like some of the other families might have been worse than hers, and that's maybe why she has such a level head versus all the other girls too. Not just her dad, but her mom too. Not punishing her for little things like dreaming.
Like less trauma, maybe.
Maybe the mom had a little bit of hope because she was like in a loving-ish marriage compared to some of the others. But yeah, it's like in retrospect, the mom was like relatively lenient compared to some of the other moms, it seems like. And her dad would take her out hunting and stuff. Like that was probably not allowed, or any other dad would never do that. So she really had a lot of like, you know, she got skills. She had the freedom to like not just think she had to conform all the time.
Yeah, And maybe in her way, then the parents were preparing her as well, even though she wasn't from like the same background or didn't have the same mindset.
Mhm.
I'm curious, like who this poacher is.
I feel like it's Hans, but now I'm not sure.
I think it's a stranger.
That's another option. I'm writing it down.
Or maybe like one of the bastards from the outskirts.
Mm,
Maybe it's like her half sister or something.
Yeah, maybe it's a girl.
Ooh.
Maybe they're not boys. Unless she heard a man's voice when it said kick me. But I don't remember.
I don't think she was specific. But in that situation, why did he say kick me? I was kind of confused. I'm like,
They need to prove an injury to make sure that other poachers know that they didn't just let her get away, you know? Like just like a slight injury to say like, oh, she fought me, she stabbed me, so
Yeah.
I had to let her get, or she escaped or something. If you come back without a wound, then it's like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah.
You let her escape. That's my interpretation anyways.
See, that's what I think part of it makes me believe that it's a young boy. Like, oh, I have to, like the way you said that. I don't think the dad would be like, oh, I got hurt.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think that, like, I think he's maybe working on his own, has a separate agenda, like undercover maybe, or like, I don't know. I don't think that that the other poachers are just poachers, and maybe this guy is some kind of like revolutionary or some kind of, or maybe really, I don't know, somebody like who's doing something separate than the other poachers.
Which I have seen in other novels of this genre, so it makes sense.
Because the other poachers killed the other girls, this guy didn't, and we would think that that's not normal behavior, that he wouldn't have killed her.
Yeah.
So would he let anyone go, or is it just her? And like, why
Maybe
just her?
What do you think of this? Since the dad is kind of like the doctor, maybe he has more like flexible funds. And what if he paid off a poacher to help protect her? Maybe it's someone other than Hans, or maybe he paid off several of them to make sure that his daughter survives. And he has that in because he works with them. Or Michael could have done it too because he loves her so much. That's what I was thinking just now. Or maybe the dad, because he has access to like the blood and the other body parts, and he's kind of like supplying that. And there's the demand. He could say like, oh, I'm going to hook you up with like some extra ears, just make sure my daughter survives.
The whole communication with the flowers came back
in
that one scene.
I wonder if some of those seeds are the flowers.
Mm.
The sister gave her.
I don't know.
Maybe they still survive. I mean, I doubt it, but maybe they fall and they grow anyway.
Yeah.
The survivors will eat it in the spring.
Maybe they're, like you're saying, maybe they're the flowers also, and they bloom somehow. I don't know.
I don't know much about gardening.
Neither do I. I have a balcony.
Mhm.
That's about it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Kirsten cut Gertie's scalp?
She cut off her trenza, like, and cut a little piece off, so she didn't die. I thought she died at first, but then I realized.
I thought she just like.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, she's holding the head. I was like,
They like
She
scalped
probably
it.
went like this and took off a bit of her head.
yeah, okay.
Darlene.
She's trying to join me but I'm like in my bed and I'm like, bro, there's no room for you in here. That's why I had to mute myself. I was like, no, I'm too comfy.
Have we talked about the symbolism of the flower? Did we do that last time? Because I was thinking because it's red, it could mean like blood, it could mean like menstruation, like you're mature, so now it's the time you have to go into the grace year. But then the 5 petals also made me think, because they're saying like they're doing the grace year because of religion. The 5 petals made me think of like a pentagram, which is like anti-religious, like this symbol of like Satanism, I think. So I don't know. That was just interesting to me. Hey, Eileen.
Hi.
My bad.
Can red also mean rebellion?
Mm.
Could be.
I'm looking it up.
Think that they definitely are significant in some way. Unfortunately, I barely know anything about flowers, so I don't know. Until the author tells us, I don't know.
I think the red can be rebellions, like a rebel. And the fact that they're removing the red ribbon, it's kind of like a sign of like, yes, you have joined my group, as in Kristen's group. It's like you're not rebelling against me anymore. You have joined me.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Yeah,
I-
that's crazy.
Also appreciated just from the author's writing. Like we know that magic is probably not real.
Mhm.
And you would think that maybe Tyranny would just automatically know that it's not real, but she's also struggling with, is it real or is it not?
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes it more interesting. That part reminds me of Lord of the Flies, but I think I'm just gonna have to reread it after this book.
Oh my
because
goodness.
I haven't read it since high school.
Yeah, did you guys have to read Lord of the Flies in high school? Because I did.
It was
Yeah.
a scary book for me, but I liked it.
I think we read it like freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, but I kind of know the gist of it, where there's like young boys, right? Or is it boys and girls? I think it's boys.
Boys.
I think
And
it's
then they kind of just go at it with each other, and you just see how evil they can turn. Something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I should read
The
it.
conch, piggy.
Oh. I've heard of stuff like that, and someone always brings it up, and I'm like, damn it, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna reread it right after this book for sure. Or maybe
Recommendation
even
again, just watch Yellow Jackets, everyone. It's like Lord of the Flies. I'm almost done. I have 3 more episodes.
nice.
It's a great pairing with this group, or with this book, because it's like a lot of parallels.
Is that show older than this?
Newer, because it just finished like a few weeks ago.
Okay. So I wonder if they were influenced by that.
Maybe.
I hope Tierney goes back and also cuts off like Kristen's braid.
Yeah, that's a bully.
I
Definitely.
wonder if that girl she sees in her dreams is her,
Oh, creepy.
because her
I thought so.
her hair is cut short. She could get that scar during her time.
Didn't she already have the scar?
The strawberry
Yeah.
scar?
Doesn't she have that already? Or maybe does she not?
Oh,
So
I
she
thought,
did.
I thought it was Gertie who has the strawberry mark or something like that.
I thought she did, but maybe I'm wrong.
Let me see.
I don't think she has it under her eye though. They're acting like this grace year like goes back to biblical times or something, but then didn't they mention like the tree has 46 marks or something? Like, have they only done this 46 times? And like, why did it start? 46 years ago.
Yeah, the only thing they've said was that one thing in the first section about like when our people came here, they spoke different languages or something like that. Like, but other than that, they've not gotten into that backstory at all.
That's also kind of like a biblical reference, right? With the Tower of Babel or something like that. I didn't think of that before. I forgot what happens in that story though, but it's something about everyone like trying to speak the same language or trying to do something with language.
I think it's that, wasn't it like that they built the tower in Babel and it got so tall?
They're trying to reach out or something, right?
And then to punish them, God created lots of different languages. Wasn't that sort of what happened? I don't remember.
Yeah. Let me see. God was concerned. Oh, what really happened? Let me see. Yeah, so I think they were trying to build a tower to get to heaven or something, and God didn't like that, so then he made them all speak different languages so they couldn't work together to do that anymore, and he spread them all across the world. Let me see.
It's so weird that they don't want to like work together. Like even, the previous years they like burn, everything that was useful that they built. And you can't talk to your parents about it. You
I
can't
think the
even really.
society's done a good job of just making them all feel like they're enemies and like they can't be friends. And like how she was saying, like, oh, they were talking like back when they were still kind of working together, and like that they never do that. They never even like are talking to each other that much or that friendly. And then like the whole competition with the veils, that only some of them can get veils and the rest have to go work in the fields and stuff. Like that's just like everything about this society is like making people, well, not the men, but the women, just like they have no agency and they have no, like, they all like view each other as enemies or competition, or like the wives can be replaced, they don't bear children, like nothing about the men. They can go and like have a party before the veiling day and no one cares.
I think because oh, go ahead, Julie.
Oh, and if they were to accuse their wife of something, they just believe the man. Like they don't question it.
I hope we find out more about how they've kind of distorted like the Bible, because I feel like that, and how they say like Eve was trying to murder her family. I feel like that's kind of like the premise of all of this. And that's why what they're using to justify it. And if they've done it for like a certain amount of time, then I feel like some big shift or revolution had to happen before like a disaster for them to be able to remake the story so drastically. If it's set like, post any time that the Bible has existed. And then I did find out more about the Tower of Babel. So it said God was concerned humans had blasphemed by building the tower to avoid a second flood. So God brought into existence the multiple languages to stop the tower from being built. So I think it's just like for the humans competing with like what God can create, maybe. I'm not very religious, so it's just how I'm seeing that. Woo. My feet slipped.
Just because they didn't want to die in a flood again.
Yeah.
Not cool.
I know. That's just so interesting. Somebody takes on it. I think he did the flood to like cleanse the earth of sin or something, but it's like, well, who decides what is what, right?
There's a lot of that, and I'm not familiar with the New Testament, only the Old, but in the Old Testament, there's a lot of that.
I think I had to read part of the Bible like in the summer leading up to sophomore English advance or something like that. And then I have like a little children's book of the Bible that I was given when I was little, so I read it. So I know the stories, but I'm not really religious by any means. But I find it interesting to just talk about. So I wonder like if there's more stories like that that they're using to justify all that's going on, or if there's symbolism and even like the location of the encampment. I'm also wondering if the encampment is kind of like in a valley and the hill, because I feel like they always describe Tierney as going up because she's struggling to find like high ground. I wonder if the encampment is like lower in a valley and the woods are all around it like this, and the poachers are just always watching and they're deciding who gets to survive or who's being like displaying leadership qualities, you know, or who they're going to give a hard time, things like that. So I feel like geography could have a role, especially just, I don't know. I feel like the landscape, kind of like in Wilds, like Julie was saying, has a lot to do with how the plot of the book is going to progress.
I thought that they were on an island based on that one scene when she goes on the ridge and she says something about like the water was surrounding and like, I don't remember exactly what she said, but I thought maybe they were on an island, like just for like not the society, but
because they do cross
just their area.
Yeah, they cross the river or something, right? Because of the first girl who had the stones in her dress and she drowned. So they could.
That's another way that they can't escape, is that they're on a island.
I had not considered that yet.
I also don't think, you know how when they got there, their stuff was burning? Like whoever was there last. I think the men just did that. Like, they just burned everything. It's another way to like make the women hate each other.
You know, it would potentially make sense for them to like add some safeguards, like make the well, you know, drugged, maybe make Tierney kind of like give her the direction to do certain things, or I don't know, like we said, like burn the stuff. You know, there could be things that are being done to art, like to make things go a certain way,
like the
beyond
howling.
just like the other stuff that's happening. Yeah, like that too.
Yeah, the men could have even been destroying the rain buckets. Like she thought it was Kirsten, but maybe it was the poachers or whoever's watching. So they keep drinking the well water.
When she's recovering and starting to wake up and she's being cut by the butcher, whoever he is, I was reading like second to last paragraph and it says that he's kind of like cutting into her arm, and I wonder if it is in the future, maybe they have like technology, like maybe she could have like a chip in her arm. I think that happens in the Hunger Games too, right? So maybe he's trying to take it out if he's trying to help her.
And maybe if the men are more like involved in this than we know, maybe that's why this poacher is like rebelling. Maybe for some reason he's like not happy with everything, or I don't know, is like maybe that's also a punishment in some way for them. I don't know.
Maybe it's Hans trying to like break up the Glacier because of his, you know, girlfriend dying in it, or his love dying in it.
And the last line, death isn't just coming for me, it's here. Do you guys think she's gonna die?
No.
I don't think so.
I can't. She's the main character.
I know. Death is coming for the rest of the girls.
Oh.
Except.
Could it be an illness too, though? Like maybe she's that sick, like she's close to death, and then she's gonna have to have like a miraculous recovery or something. Or maybe she'll have a vision of what to do.
I feel like if she died at this point, this book would have like a 1 star on Goodreads.
I don't think she's dying. It's just interesting that she's like, death is coming for me and it's here. And
Yeah.
the way they're describing the whole blade going into the flesh, I'm like, what if she got something stuck somehow while she's climbing all these things and she's kind of delusional.
Infection.
And this person is trying to help her. But all she's thinking of, they're trying to kill me. I'm dying, you know?
Yeah, because she's already had to be in that mindset for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Or if she does die, it'll go like supernatural. She'll become a ghost and just be like, you know, causing more commotion. I don't know. But I don't think she's gonna die. Maybe she'll wake up somewhere else in the new society and then come back to like free the girls or something. Or maybe she'll heal until she's hecka strong and she's gonna come back and get revenge on Kirsten and break up like the Gracier. I don't know.
I think I did see in one of the sections, you know how it was separated into seasons? There is one that says The Return, which I totally missed. It's like towards the end. Yes. It's a very tiny section and it says The Return.
Oh.
So
Mhm.
I think we previously said like, oh, you know, they're just gonna go through the seasons and maybe if there's another book, like maybe when she returns or something. But we do get a glimpse of when she comes back.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, that's significant.
Yeah, which I hope it doesn't go by quick, but I'm also kind of wondering if they're gonna do like right away, just say, oh, these girls died. This person is with this person, and they had, you know how they did in Hunger Games at the end, and it, you know, bringing it back, the references, but just like skip it into like they had these kids. This person, you know, died because she did it or something. I don't know.
I feel like they wouldn't do that though. It seems like they're showing a pretty good amount of like action and breakdown of how everything is happening.
I'm just saying because The Return is pretty small.
Oh.
I hope
Yeah,
it's
if she's gonna return and and bring a revolution, she doesn't have a lot of time to do
Yeah.
that.
True. True.
Maybe the flowers will be able to be boiled and become like the anti-drug, cancel out the well juices if it is drugs. I feel like there has to be some other meaning to it. I know since her dad's a doctor, maybe she'll be able to know how to like use natural remedies to help.
So the next section is kind of easy because you just have to stop right when you hit summer.
Perfect.
Oh, cool.
It's 199 pages. 100.
So we're going to go through
307.
winter.
Yes, 307.
This
And
feels like a shorter section. It'll go by fast.
Yeah.
I want to read it now, but I know I might not remember everything by next Tuesday. So
I'm so tempted to do the same. Like, I just want to know what happens.
I probably will.
Yeah, I might do it too.
a book like this I could read in one sitting. Yeah.
And I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, what if we all end up doing that and we're just like waiting until it
Check
ends?
in on
Like,
Sunday.
we already finished, you know? Like, because I've been finishing way too early, and I'm just waiting, and I'm like, this was a bad idea. I don't know what happened.
I've been putting the book somewhere where I won't see it to like make me forget about it, and then I'm like, okay, but like Sunday, I'm like, okay, where's the book?
Where did I put it?
Where is it?
So the bio of the author at the very back is kind of like interesting. Kim spends her free time studying tarot and scouring Manhattan for rare vials of perfume and the perfect egg white cup.
Oh, that's very unique.
Yeah. I just
Do you
like
see
saw it. I
there's
was
a
like,
reading group discussion guide?
Yeah.
yeah.
At last meeting, I was kind of skimming through them, but I feel like there might be spoilers, so I stopped myself.
Yeah.
I did look up Garner County, and it says it's a town in North Carolina. I don't know if that has any significance, but if it is set in like the East Coast United States, I find that's interesting.
Mm.
Definitely a good book so far.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like it.
Good pick, Katie.
Yeah, Katie, good choice. Okay, well, next meeting is the 15th. Katie's birthday.
I may or may not.
I was
'cause we're
gonna
having
say
dinner.
it's okay if you can't. It's your birthday. You don't have to be here with us.
But if I might try to log on later and listen if you guys are still there.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not, if we don't see you, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
Birthday.
And happy birthday, Darlene.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should just sing to
Belated
both
birthday
of them
to
now.
Yes.
Belated and early.
Also, I have an update about my because I saw
Oh
Crystal Squishmallow. Remember last time I was talking to you? I wanted a pink one.
You
Oh,
got it.
yes.
I want one.
Oh my god, wait, what is she? She's a little sea star.
It's an octopus and or it's a jellyfish. One of those. It's holding a starfish.
Oh my god, how
That's
cute.
so cute. I thought that was like a little dress.
I thought she
Those
was gonna
little
have
tentacles.
two, like two little starfish.
That's adorable.
It's a big one.
I want one. The girls have these huge ones. They're avocado toast.
Aw.
I
found
don't even
that
know
one.
how much it cost.
Are we gonna sing?
Huh?
Happy
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you. Oh my god.
Happy
birthday, dear Darlene.
Eileen and Katie.
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you. Yay.
Wow, that
I
was
think we need to speed it up. Do you think maybe everyone's kind of like slow?
I think everyone's trying to be on the same tempo, but we're too slow. And then I'm like, am I delayed? I don't know.
It's like how the girls on Grace Year would sing happy birthday to each other.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, well, hope you have a good night. And
Good night.
excited for the week.
Until next week.
Yeah.
Wait,
night.
next week, second to last, we're bringing books already?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Book pictures.
Bring your book choice if you want. You can
Okay.
send it to me early on if you want me to already write, like put it on the survey thing, and then right away send it on Wednesday if you want.
Okay.
Your little pitches.
Okay.
But
Sounds
it
good.
doesn't take too long. So bring your book.
Woo!
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye.
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 Good night.
Bye.